guys, I'm back with a dragon drawing tutorial. So today I'm going to be drawing a dragon roaring, and it'll be step by step. So first we want to draw our basic circle here, then work on a large box and a small box for our open snout, and then these shapes for horns, where the horns are like wider and then they thin out. And the entire horns aren't all in the photo. But now we're going to start on the neck, which is curved, kind of like an S or a C shape. Yeah. So now we're going to start with detail. We're going to do a curve. Hold on. Okay, I've refilled my pencil, and we're going to do a curve on our dragon's snout here. And at the top, we want it to be kind of wide, then getting thinner as it goes in, then getting taller, and have it go behind the horns. And now we just want to erase all of our extra lines in the way here. And now we're going to make a sharp beak-like part and do a curve, another curve, and then a larger curve. Have it come down since our dragon is roaring, so the mouth is open. And now we're going to do the curve over here. Point up, down, make the bottom of the snout wider, getting thin and getting thicker as we go to the cheek. And now we want to add a bit of a curve here so it doesn't look like our dragon has like a weird flat mouth. And then we want to add some of the mouth onto the other side. And now we'll do the nose. Just do the bump above it, then the nostril, and add part of the bump onto the other side so our dragon doesn't look flat. Now we're going to start adding fangs and teeth. Pretty easy. Triangles curving in, since most carnivores have their teeth curving in, so prey can't escape. And for the bottom, do like one on each side, if you did it like this. And then add a bit there so you can kind of see the gums, just a bit, because we don't want our dragon to look flat. Now we're going to make the horns more visible, just like this. Go over them a bit darker, but not too hard, since we might want to erase. And then add a curve like this, so the horn doesn't look like it's just coming right out of the head. We're going to have a bit of a curve so it looks separate. I'm going to curve mine a little more. And you want the horn in the back too, so make that easier to see. There we go. Both of my horns are curving up, but you can do them spiky. You can have like 4 horns. You can have no horns. You can have horns that are curved like ram horns. Whatever you want. Now I'm going to add some small ears over here. And the flap of skin that goes in front of them. Then I'm going to make the head come down past the ear, and then connecting into the cheek. Now we're going to need to add our eyebrows. Simple. I try to make them sort of triangular sometimes. Add it on that side there. Now we're going to do our eye. Do that line at the top, which is like part of the eyebrow again, and just makes them look angry because they're roaring. Then add the bottom of the eye like this. Add some shine, and I like to do slit pupils like this because it makes them look more angry. And now we're going to add a few spikes to our dragon. That way they look even scarier because they're supposed to be a scary roaring dragon. And most reptiles just have spikes anyway to make them look kind of scary, even if they're not sharp. So just add a row of these down the back. It'll make the dragon look, I don't know, more scary, dragon-like, sorta. And make the neck a bit bigger with a large chest, because like dragons fly a lot. They're gonna need big chests because they have big lungs and big hearts. And just continue the spikes down the neck. This time making them come from behind since our dragon's tilted a bit. Now I'm going to add this like belly line thing coming here. And need to erase part of it. Going to add a bit onto the head too. And this is pretty much it. I'm going to color mine now. I think I'm going to use a green for it. And do the coloring the way that the scales would go. It's pretty simple. And make it darker in areas where there will be shadows. Just to add shading. Helps the dragon look all the more bit 3D. So, fairly simple, just like that. And if you still have some texture, try to make all the texture be going the way that the scales will be going, and not just random right now. Sorry if there's too much background noise. But yeah. Here we go. Just like this. And add shadows to the nose and eye behind it. It's pretty simple. And stop at the line we drew under the mouth. And remember, like, do pencil and don't do it too hard in case you have to erase. Like, even really good artists erase. Because, like, we start with just circles and then we add details. So, here's where some shadows would be too. So, I'm shading it in a bit. Just like this. And I might be posting some scale tutorials if you want to do like dragons like with lots of scales. And if you do decide to add scales to the dragon, I would advise that you like do that before you start the coloring process. And if you use blending sticks to shade, then I sometimes don't even color. Or sometimes I'll like do a black and white picture. Like that. But if you want to add scales, sometimes you can do like small circles. Sometimes you can make them round, sometimes they're pointy. Sometimes they're like long and armor-like. There's a bunch of different scale types you can do. You can probably look up dragon photos and just find a bunch of scales stuff you can do. But I try not to make my scales look too much like fish scales, unless I'm doing like an underwater dragon. Because I feel like fish scales don't look very good on dragons that much. But they look good on some dragons. And also, it's good to do your own style with dragons, because if too many of your dragons are the same, then it won't look as good as it could be. Unless even if you're doing all the same species, you want them to look a little different. Like, give some dragons sharper, curvier horns than others. Maybe make the shade of color different. And if you try to make your dragon different than the tutorial you're following, then it'll look like better. Like, it's harder to draw something exactly like someone else is doing, and easier to just go your own way. I wasn't very good at drawing dragons when I first started because I was like copying others, so it didn't look the best. And then I started like just teaching myself some steps that I thought looked good, and my dragons ended up turning out really good, like better than they were. So I'm using a lighter color for the underbelly and then darker color for the horns. It's not what I always do, it just kind of looks good, I think. Now, right now this dragon doesn't look super angry, So let's make this a bit bigger. Now it looks more angry. And most dragons have like these ridges above their eyes. It's kind of like their eyebrow, pretty much. Since dragons aren't exactly furry. And dragons don't always look the best with big eyelashes. So if you want to make yours a girl, just like add a small point to the end of the eye like this. I feel like it looks kind of like eyelashes without looking too much like eyelashes. So that can look good sometimes. And just coloring the spikes same as the horns is what I usually do. But you can do it however you want. You can make a dragon any color as well. It doesn't have to be red or green. You can make a dragon pink and blue and gold if you wanted. And some dragons are even like lots of colors. Now, I often do my ears pink. And for the mouths, use shades of pink and red as well. Just like this. That's what I usually do. Okay, I'm gonna need a red. Just like this. It's pretty easy if you get used to it. And if the dragon's a carnivore, I sometimes add bits of red onto the teeth because it's eating meat. So just bits of red on the teeth, because dragons don't usually brush their teeth. I mean, they are animals after all. Now, I like to do eyes yellow, but they don't always have yellow eyes. They can have like blue or green or black or purple, whatever color you want. And I always like to add small details into the eye because no one's irises are pure color. They always have like stripes or zigzags in them. But here we go. A finished dragon. Hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Have a nice day. Goodbye.